The funeral of another American husband. A heart attack at 64. He, like many another, only enjoyed a few days of retirement. The way we live now kills off the men and preserves the women.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no Russians. There are no Mongols. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
Oh, I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Hello there, you lucky devils. You better bet your bippies he reads everything. Now he builds everything. So the members only will be streamed live to the new website if you want to check that out. Blog feature should be working. I have not had time to test that. Go to the website, click the link in the description of this video. It should be there. Right, stonesunturned.com. Hi, Alpine. Hi, Gary. Where do I get freaking option? Doesn't matter. Should be in the description of the video. Let me put it in the chat. I got too many. This gets a little tiny bit too complicated. It is finished. It is ready for your money. Do not be in a big hurry. You won't miss anything if you don't have to buy an overlapping subscription with YouTube. If you pay the $20 for the premium website, you do not have to pay for YouTube. However, don't do that yet. Let me make sure everything's working fine. Or you can just stick with YouTube. There will be the occasional studying up on Swedenborg. Outstanding. He's the key to the whole thing. You know nothing about Emanuel Swedenborg. Tonight's episode, once again, is going to be about the you-know-whatsies. There's a reason for that. So you go to the website and you click on Watch Sup. Watch Stones Unturned podcast. And there will be a list of previous, like the previous live stream. I don't have the transcript uploaded to that yet. I will get to that tonight. And there will be this one here. So you click on, right, the one that's coming up. This one will be public one more time. And the really cool, okay, this is what you'll see. And then it will auto play. Well, I'm going to try to change that so that instead of auto playing, the one thing you cannot do with HTML5, they've outlawed this, is you must auto mute if you're going to auto play. So what I'm going to try to do is change this so that, but to let you know that the stream has started, it will like pop up and it will have a play button. And it will play, because if you wait and then unmute, you may have missed the most pithy comment of the whole night. So I will probably change this. So this is what it should look like. But here's the website. It is 2 or 3 things, okay? There will be a place to watch episodes and premium episodes. That might be what most people want. There will also be, you can search all of my research materials. It's now pretty much all up on the site. Snook's military records still aren't up there. A couple things aren't up there. And plus you can search. It does a deep search of other certain crucial websites like a Candy Rose, Manson Family Blog, websites like that. And you can nominate some more of those. Then, all of those documents exist. Here's my YouTube videos, and there'll be other YouTube, not just my YouTube videos. If you got links to videos like Rotting Jewels, you can drop them in here. And when you go to watch a video, these are now slates. They're like PowerPoint slides, but much more detailed, much more useful than just PowerPoint slates. Let me see what can I see myself? Okay. So I'm playing one of my videos. I think I have to be logged in to see that one. If it's a members only video, let's find a pregame one. Pregame. Let's see if this one will play. Open that up. Why is that not opening up? I'm going to get mad. Okay, I need to see. Is this a pregame? If it's a members only on YouTube, you'll have to have a subscription to watch. Okay, so here's a pregame episode. So this opens up in a... Wait a minute. Is that what's going on? I don't guarantee everything works on the phone yet. But, so here's the video. I think I'm accidentally clicking on the search thing is the problem. Is that the problem? I think I'm clicking on the search thing. And that's why it's opening up the search thing. It's going to be a little easier to do this on the... To see slates like this, it's going to be easier to do that on the website, okay? But you can watch it here, and then you can leave comments. Oh, there it is. I need to scroll down further, okay? Because the search... There it is. There it is. So there's an old one that's playing through YouTube. So if you post a video from Manny's channel or Rotting Jewels channel, they still get the clicks. They still get the views. But look, it's synchronized with the transcript. See the transcript going by and it's synchronized? Isn't that cool? You can leave all kinds of comments, different kinds of comments and tags. You can link it to other slates. So that's all my material. So then there's another category, which is my old classic slideshows that I've used to make episodes, and you can go through these. You can search inside these for various terms. It'd be easier to show you this on the computer, obviously. But this is all of my research materials, okay? They're all right here. But to watch the live streams, you click on Watch Stones Unturned Podcast. Hi, Baby Bull. Getting the chat to appear next to the thing in full screen is impossible. So if you go full screen on the video player, it should cast. If you have a castable TV, it should auto-detect that, and you should be able to cast. If it doesn't cast right, I don't want to hear it. Not yet. So we'll test this one more time in live stream. Yes, you can tip during live streams on the new website. But it kicks ass on the phone, I think, which is great. I'm very proud of that. There is the community. We have discussion boards. My dossier would be like your profile and things like that. And there's the blog. It's one big, beautiful blog for all of us. You can write a blog article if you want to publish it, and then it goes to moderator review. I just check it real quick. And then it goes out. But it's one big blog, one big RSS feed, so we all help each other. So I'm going to have a blog where I post probably every day. And that's basically how it works. It's that simple. Episodes will get organized better, but you'll basically be searching for things. And I will show you again. Let me show you again really quick on here how easy this website is to use. Reload this. So you can just, like, you go to slates, like PowerPoint slides. You can build your own collections of slates to keep things together. You can link slates together. You can search for something like Manson. Okay. It starts bringing up all of these results. These are YouTube videos. These are documents like police files. So like all the Son of Sam police files we have are uploaded to the site. All the Zodiac files are uploaded. There are some books that are accessed, and that's your search results. Then if you want to include, let's say, Manson Family Blog. How many times is Charles Manson mentioned on the Manson Family Blog? That should pop up here. I may have to search for Manson again. You can select these external websites. External sites. See, the Manson Family Blog. Cielo Drive should be on here. That's the one, cielodrive.com. Okay. So you can search my old website. It's no longer accepting new members. Okay, it's like one refresh behind. That will probably be the most exciting thing for most people. You can go to watch episodes, and this will have past episodes. Like there's a past episode. Right now they autoplay, but then you have to tap to unmute. So I'm going to switch that so it pops up and then, but I'm trying to make the controller a little easier to see and use. Over here for both live streams and the same thing on the phone, you can choose your resolution to say bandwidth, or you can even go audio only. And either video audio only, it should play when your phone is closed. It does on mine. I have an Android phone, a Samsung phone. So I think it's pretty kick-ass. If you don't, keep subscribing. And I got notifications working, more or less. So keep subscribing to the YouTube channel if you don't want to pay the $20 a month. That's for live streaming plus all those other features. And you can have your own blog. Make sense? Maybe you don't care. Let's get to, okay, first, let's get the update from the Clay Pigeon of Pennsylvania Avenue. NORAD fighter jets intercept aircraft near Trump's Bedminster Golf Club. 2 aircraft tried to attack. This was an armed gunman, once again apprehended near Mar-a-Lago Golf Course. It's outside of Miami, so like everybody's armed, right? Like you're going to have to arrest everybody in Miami. So here we're coming back to this whole, was this a politically motivated, targeted? So the operation into whether Trump was a Russian asset or not was called Oxford Comma. And it's deliberately because he fired Comey as FBI director in his first term, that automatically made him a Russian spy. I only bring it up because remember that time Bill Clinton fired the director of the FBI over the phone on a Saturday? Remember that? If I could type, it would help. The the FBI. Fired William Sessions on July 19th, 1993. When was Vince Foster's body discovered? When was Vince Foster's body discovered? He fired him on the 19th of July. Discovered on the afternoon of July the 20th. It was a little over 24 hours later his body was discovered. This is right after Bill Clinton fired the director of the FBI over the phone. Normally, having a close staffer to the president like that murdered in Washington, D.C., the case would have been investigated by the FBI, but they had no director. So the Park Service, the National Park Service police took over that investigation and ruled it a suicide. You don't need Google. You don't need AI. You have me. Does this prove Trump is not a Russian agent? No. FBI agent charged in the theft of almost $1 million in cryptocurrency from Russia. No wonder the Russians are always got their panties in a bunch. You know the robbery that FDR did to the Soviet Union, right? Everybody thought FDR was a commie. He robbed Soviet Russia blind. A supervisory FBI agent. The FBI fired Patrick Stephen Yoroch last week, and he was arrested for interstate transportation of stolen goods and receipt of stolen goods. In an affidavit, he admitted to the crimes to an unnamed Department of Justice employee because he was frustrated when he could not do more to disrupt this individual's use of cryptocurrency. Oh, I can't stop him from spending cryptocurrency on coke and whores, hot cars and hot coke and hot whores, but I can steal it from him and do it myself. Remember the CIA agent that stole like a truckload of gold? Why is every post duplicated? Not that I care. I don't try to friend me on Facebook because I won't reply. Ex-White House counsel, the one who had thousands of contacts with Jeffrey Epstein. When I say ex-White House counsel, this was Barack Obama's White House counsel. Remember we talked about this. Said the accuser's testimony lacked inherent credibility. That reminds me of the Nancy Guthrie disappearing case, when the sheriff lacks credibility. Men detained in Guthrie investigation filed notice of claim against Pima County Sheriff. Remember the sheriff of Pima County, Tucson, Arizona, who could not possibly have gotten the nomination, let alone got elected without support from Savannah Guthrie's very close friend, very close friends with Gabby Gifford, his wife. Senator, is it Mark Kelly or his identical twin brother Scott Kelly? The one who sold pyramid scams door to door in China. That's the one who became a senator. They're both astronauts. Only one's been a senator so far. There's no way Sheriff Nanos could have gotten elected without support from Kelly. I only mention it because when Savannah heard her mother was missing, the first person she called was Senator Kelly. Store clerk foiled ex-Navy SEAL's explosives plot targeting police at No Kings protest. This was a Navy SEAL who was... This is one of those... Is his name Joe Cuellar? They don't show his face. Joe Cuellar is a popcorn spook who runs around pretending to be a rogue CIA agent. This guy tried to buy some fireworks and said he was going to set them off at the protest. I don't know how real it is. How real is anything? Ex-JP Morgan banker Chiroyu Rana files a new lawsuit against his former woman boss. The way our system is set up today,
The funeral of a husband. Funeral of another American husband. A heart attack at 64. He, like many another, only enjoyed a few days of retirement. The way we live now kills off the men and preserves the women.
Amen, brother. I only bring it up because of this guy. A banker at J.P. Morgan. If you can't believe a J.P. Morgan banker, who can you believe? Filed a new lawsuit against his former employer, but backtracked on about being a sex slave. Accuses bank executive Loma Hajini of drugging and sexually assaulting him. I think the man does protest a little too much. In the words of Popeye the Sailor Man, Wemmick. Canadian intern at NATO arrested on espionage charges in Belgium. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with you globalist kids today. Okay, let's get back to the ransom notes and then we'll move on to the members only. Nancy Guthrie ransom notes may be fake, as renowned profiler says case looks more like burglary gone wrong. One more time. That's not how burglary works. I don't know. I went in looking for her purse, and then something happened, and I panicked and grabbed the old bag's 150-pound dead corpse and ran off. And by the time I calmed down, I realized I had made a mistake. There was no burglary. And if you're going to take the time to drag a 150-pound old dead bag and dead corpse disappears. Remember, this has become one of those completely uncrackable cases that I've already cracked. It wasn't that hard. It's obvious. The guy in the video is the exact same height and weight as the suspect-in-law. The guy in the video is bow-legged and has problems with his pelvis and his left hip, and walks exactly like, has a very peculiar and very distinctive gait, exactly like the suspect-in-law. The car that was seen on a neighbor's doorbell cam leaving the scene approximately a few minutes after the pacemaker and the phone were disconnected. That car is a medium colored, it's not white, it's not black, Honda CR-V. The suspect-in-law drives a Honda CR-V, which was impounded by the police for over a month before it was finally released. Now, burglary gone wrong. There was no burglary. Nothing was missing. Nothing. Not even her wallet, which was on the kitchen table. And he supposedly was in this house for hours and hours and hours. He stole nothing except, even the Madeleine McCann case. Oh, a burglar must have jumped in the window, panicked, grabbed a child, and jumped back out the window. The 60-pound child jumped back out the window. And we never found the child. It's just one of those, and we don't know who did it. We don't have a clue who did it. It's like the Seth Rich murder. We have no clue. We don't have an idea who did it. We have no clue. We know 10 times more about the third gunman in Dealey Plaza than we will ever know about the kidnapper Nancy Guthrie, because the kidnapper Nancy Guthrie doesn't exist. It was not a burglary gone wrong. There's a video on this channel. Watch it. I show you what happened. However, back to the ransom notes that finally got leaked, and the family says are authentic. Well, they list all these details. Now, these profilers that have never once caught anybody ever say that the ransom notes are fake. This isn't how you send a ransom. You leave the ransom note in the victim's bed. There's just, you don't grab a corpse in a burglary gone wrong. You just leave the corpse. And you don't go back 3 or 4 hours later and try to stage a phony kidnapping if it's a burglary gone wrong. But here's my point. The ransom notes. Now, as a benchmark test, because I don't trust AI. I don't. So as a benchmark test, that's not it. That's not it. As a benchmark test. Well, what I did was I had it analyze a book called The Necronomicon by Simon, and I fed it some samples of Peter Levenda's writing. And I said, is it possible Peter Levenda could have written this book? According to AI, now you can take this or leave it for what it's worth, but according to AI, which I trust less than this, according to AI, Peter Levenda not only wrote the text of the Necronomicon, but he also wrote all the front matter, all the letters endorsing it. He wrote all of that. Now you take that for what it's worth. But I asked that same AI about the 2 ransom notes. I cut out the proper nouns. I said, forget the news. I said, analyze the style of these 2, analyze the style of this information. I said, could this be a person? Because different experts have said maybe this is a person, English is not their native language, whatever. I said, could this possibly be a person who was born in, I don't know, Italy, and moved to the United States at the age of 20 and has lived here for the last 25, maybe 30 years, and maybe teaches science classes? This was the answer. Linguistic and stylistic analysis, vocabulary and register. This is the formal and clinical tone. Latinate versus Germanic roots. The writer consistently opts for Latinate, formal, or clinical vocabulary over casual Anglo-Saxon alternatives. Perish instead of died. Physical condition instead of health or sickness. Intention instead of meaning to. Grasp the seriousness instead of realize how bad. Italian Romance language connection. Native speakers of Romance languages, like Italian who learn English as adults, often rely heavily on Latinate words and grammar because they share direct cognates with their native language. For example, Italian words perire, which is to perish, condizione, intenzione. To a second language speaker from Italy, perish and condition feel natural and precise rather than overly archaic or formal. Science background. The note uses observational clinical terminology to describe a human event. Grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. Believe it was heart-related. This detached analytical tone aligns with someone accustomed to writing technical, biological, or scientific reports. Prepositions, idioms, and article usage. The L1 transfer markers. These are accepted in court in terms of poison pin cases like this. And remember, I'm saying there was no real foul play. Mishandling a corpse, concealing a death, but sending those ransom notes is extortion, whether he physically was involved in the disappearance or whoever sent those. That's attempted extortion for sure. It's a serious crime. They caught some of the people who sent the obviously phony notes, but they haven't caught this person. But both notes came from the same IP address, apparently. Prepositions, idioms, and article usage. Buried in nature now. She's buried in nature now. Analysis. Native English speakers almost universally write in the woods, outdoors, in the desert, or in the brush. Phrasing this as in nature is a literal translation of European Romance expressions like nella natura. In backyard was destroyed. And by the way, the light in the backyard was not destroyed. The author omits a definite article in the backyard. While clipped writing can occur in ransom notes, the rest of the text uses complete sentences and standard articles elsewhere. The foot of her bed. The last deadline. Dropping an article specifically in a prepositional phrase is a common trait of non-native English speakers. Floor of the foot of her bed. This construction is unusually redundant. Floor of the foot of. A native writer typically says on the floor at the foot of her bed or simply at the foot of her bed. Stacking prepositional phrases using of is characteristic of non-native syntactic mapping. Orthography and punctuation. Spacing before punctuation. Hello, space, comma. Analysis. Placing a space before a comma is an orthographic artifact often seen in keyboarding habits from certain European typists or individuals using non-standard keyboard layouts or autocorrect settings. Date and currency formatting. Analysis. The use of USD and 5 p.m. on Thursday the 5th demonstrate long-term familiarity with American financial and time conventions. Sentence structure and voice shifts. Pronoun discrepancy. Note 1 mixes plural and singular. We have your mother versus you will not be able to contact me from here on out. Number 2 uses strictly the collective we. Passive and softened phrasing. Shortly after she was taking. Distancing action from the actor. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. Rationalizing logic, common and structural analytical mindsets. Blah, 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 blah. So here's the analysis. Proposed trait. Moved to the United States at the age of approximately 20. Lived in the U.S. approximately 25 years. Linguistic evidence in text. High fluency. Correct American time currency formats paired with subtle, ingrained second language syntactic transfers. Compatibility. High. Native Italian speaker. Heavy reliance on Latinate cognates. Parish. Condition. Intention. Non-native idiomatic framing of physical space. Buried in nature. Mirroring nella natura. Compatibility. High. Teaches science or technical background, clinical, non-emotional descriptions of bodily state. Compatibility. High. What I'm saying is the physical appearance, the very distinctive gait and bow-legged condition, those proportions, the eyes, the nose, and the bottom of the teeth, those are perfectly matched for what that's worth. The timing of the going back and fiddling with the camera 3 to 4 hours after the blood was actually shed, which would put the time of the bloodshed back at 9:47 p.m., which is when the suspect in law said he dropped her off. The car driving past the neighbor's house is clearly the exact same model of car. And the linguistic analysis of the ransom notes are all 100% consistent with the suspect in law, and absolutely none of this does anything to rule him out. Take it for exactly everything it is or is not worth. I don't see a mystery. Except I don't know where the body is. I'm telling you what you want to do. Find out where the husband's buried and start zooming out, because he would have placed her body as close to the grave of her husband as he could have possibly gotten it. Number 2, if you live there, don't spend money on this. If you live in Tucson, go to the county courthouse, go to their website, look for any Jane Doe or indigent burials or cremations in the months of February and March. Especially female, especially elderly female. That's the first thing you do when you're looking for a person who has faked their own death. She didn't fake her own death. Oh, I forgot. Organ harvesting began while patients still showed signs of life, federal investigation finds. I think it's time to go members only. Hi, Alpine. Hi, John Toad. Actually, Vince Foster's not a can of worms as soon as you realize what really happened. There'll be a lot more on Swedenborg. Okay, let me set the timer. We will go members only in 5 minutes, but you can watch it for free on the new website if you want to look over there and see. Members only schedule. That'd be 5 minutes. I will try to stay awake. This heat is wearing me out. And I have air conditioning. Was it an Italian IP address? That video clip was not fished out of Google servers by the FBI. Unless you want to believe something that Kash Patel told you. Nobody listens to me. So the members only, we're going to talk a little bit more about where the idea for the Holocaust really came from. It's going to matter when we talk about Manson, Son of Sam, Zodiac, Patty Hearst, you name it. It's all one big kettle of snakes. Actually, it's a pretty small kettle of snakes. We can't just sit here waiting for the thing to click. Let's take another look at the organ thieves. That's my favorite conspiracy theory, and it's coming true. Nancy Guthrie ransom notes release follows Unabomber president that cracked the case. Well, I've already cracked the case. AI has already cracked the case. Remember, the benchmark test was proving that Peter Levenda wrote every word that you see in the book, The Necronomicon. Her life is in your hands, dude. Remember, ransom notes go like this. We have Nancy, or we have the old bag. Gather $6 million in Bitcoin. Await instructions. No cops. That's a ransom note. 4 sentence fragments. That's all you need. You leave it in the victim's bed, so you know the family will find it, because they will look in the bed. Apparently, nobody looked around the house, because nobody found the blood till a reporter found it Tuesday morning. Apparently, and they didn't look in the pool. They didn't look in the guest house. Did they look in the bed? I don't know. They told 2 different stories about the watch. One version of the story said the watch was on the charger on the kitchen counter. And that proved the ransom note was real. The ransom note said the watch was found at the foot of her bed. Could have been placed there easily. Funny thing he brought that up. A burglar wouldn't notice a thing like that. I lost my train of thought. Think he went back to Italy? You'll notice he hasn't opened his mouth, and neither has the daughter. And I'm going to bring this occult stuff up again about who started the Holocaust, because it's going to have everything to do with the suspect-in-law's wife. In the meantime, Savannah's career rolls on. Let me look at something before I lose my marbles. You should see how beautiful the admin page is. Hi, Mark. I don't have to shout your names out. The live chat should sync on replay just like on YouTube. Let me go ahead and probably start, because I don't want to play the... Let's hear this clip one more time.